Danger! Danger right there! Danger!
All right, guys, so today we're going to be working on some cheap tilts in wrestling. So it's a little bit different than our gut wrench and our cross ankle series. A lot of these ones can be done in collegiate style wrestling, but you'd be surprised how often you catch in freestyle just due to them not being used as frequently as they should. But these are going to be, instead of our opponent being in a flat position, they're going to be in a referee's position. So kind of hands, knees on the ground, and they're up just like this. So that's where a lot of our tilts are going to be for today. So easiest, most effective, and simple one I would say is just a cheap tilt. So from a tight waist. So I'm going to reach all the way around Cruz's waist tight here, and I want to create like a little bit of a bite like this. So I'm ripping back, right? I'm not just pulling, I'm reaching around, and then I sink back, and he should be able to feel that rip. He should almost want to be kind of already going over just like this, right? So I'm taking a tight waist here. I want to chop at the elbow so that he can come down like this, and I'm leaning my weight forward so that I can bring him down, right? I want to chop at the elbow. I'm keeping the same knee in tight so that I can start kind of looking for a hook here, right? So I chop, bring him here, and I want to roll to my side. Not all the way over, so he's on top of me, but I'm on my side. I kind of got to scoop my hips so I can catch Cruz here. So I take a tight waist, create that bite, chop, go to my side. I want to catch this wrist, just like this, right? So I'm on my side. I want to catch this wrist, and then I can use this other foot to bring Cruz up just like this, right? If I can have Cruz here, I can either pin him on his back or I just take my two in freestyle. And then I can come back, super easy, take this tight waist, chop, catch that wrist, come up, and if I can really catch it, I can even feed that arm through and take a ball and chain heavy grip like this. And now he's really stuck and he can't really get up here, right? So let's show that one more time. I take this tight waist position here, I chop at the elbow, and I come forward, and I go to my side here, catch that wrist, go into my side, propping Cruz up with this foot here. I can feed that wrist through, grab my own wrist, and now I'm really tight to Cruz here. And he's loaded on my hips, right? He's not far away from me or on my chest, he's on my hips. And now I have full control, and I can move around really effectively. And while he's on his back, or I'm just taking my 2 points, come back up, and I can do it again, just like that.
Keep a tight waist and chop at the elbow joint and roll over their shoulder. Once you have them loaded on your hip, use your bottom foot to hold them in the air so that you can pin them on their shoulder blades.
All right, so now we have another simple and effective cheap tilt here, but this one's going to be from a different, well, same referee's position, but instead of moving Cruz over to the right, he's going to be kind of flacking me forward. So the easiest thing I can do is I can even bring Cruz forward just like this, so he has to post, right? And now what I want to do is I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to reach underneath, drop my chest down like this, so I'm not reaching up high, drop my chest down, I'm going to grab for his elbow, using my head here, pressure my chest, bump him over here, and I can even run up the head, pull that arm with me, and keep chest to chest like that. Right? I don't want Cruz right here. I kind of want him forward like this so I can grab on that elbow, so I can bump Cruz forward a bit, bump him forward, right? Circle to the side here, drop that shoulder, drop that chest down, reach for that elbow, run with my feet, prop him down, and I can circle to the head, keep chest to chest, make sure I can pin Cruz flat to his back, just like that.
Bump your opponent forward so that they post heavy on their hand. Come around to the angle and drop your shoulder lower than their chest, and then grab at their tricep joint and run with your feet forward. Once you've ran forward, circle towards their head and work towards a pinning position.
All right, guys, so now we're going to be working on the claw ride series. So the claw ride in itself isn't exactly a turn, but it can lead up to a lot of other turns. So Cruz is going to be in that referee's position here. I'm going to be really tight in this position, right? So I'm getting myself down nice and low. I'm reaching underneath Cruz's chest here and onto his trap, so around his head. So I'm coming underneath Cruz and around to his head, on his trap here, on his neck, and I want to hook, right? I'm not grabbing his shoulder, right? I'm grabbing around his neck, even on his trap muscle, and kind of pulling him into me, sinking him in tight like this, right? Pull Cruz in tight. I'm going to pry on his thigh, so this other left arm comes around on his thigh, and it's gonna pry like this. And now I'm kind of opening Cruz up here, but this isn't enough to get him all the way down flat. I wanna pry here on the thigh, and I'm gonna run with my feet around the head this way. So I'm gonna run all the way down until Cruz goes flat, just like this. I can start going on top, have a whole bunch of other turns. So I'll show that one again. So I'm getting myself down nice and low, drop down low, reach underneath, grab that trap, hold it in super tight to me, sink it up in tight, grab around the thigh, pry it, run my feet all the way until Cruz goes flat like this. He should almost feel like he's choking a little bit. And then I can start working my other turn from here. At the very least, from a collegiate perspective, I'm riding Cruz out and I'm getting him flat so that he can't get back up.
Reach your hand underneath and across your opponent's chest all the way up to their trap muscle and use your hand to cup on their trap tightly. Use your other hand to cup on their thigh, and this motion will elongate your opponent. To further elongate your opponent, run your feet towards their head until they go completely flat.
All right, so this next one that we're gonna do is gonna work from the claw ride, but now we're gonna actually try to tilt Cruz and get some points off of it. So I'm gonna start from that claw ride position. I'm reaching underneath around the trap here. So underneath the chest, and then hook around the trap here. Grab that thigh, I'm gonna run, but instead of running Cruz all the way down, I'm actually, here, I'll show you from this angle, I'm actually opening up this thigh, right? So I run, now this thigh kind of opens up, so I pry it open, I'm gonna step around and hook in, just like this. Now that I have this hook in here, I can come, bring my hips through, and then I'm kind of opening up this hip here, stepping in this other hook. So I have a double leg ride. So I'll show that again. So I reach here, pry Cruz open. Now it's nice and easy to step this hook in here. I kind of turn my hips, and now I can start stepping the other hook in. Now I have a double leg ride on Cruz. Easiest thing I can do is I can kind of reach high up on the chest, and I'm gonna hip into Cruz. And once he goes flat, I want to tilt to a side so I can start exposing him for back points. So I grab this, my hips down, right? And I'm also using those legs and I'm prying them up like this. So I'm hipping down nice and tight on the chest here. And I can start kicking aside just like this. I take my two this way, come back to center, take my two this way, right? And I can just keep this control on Cruz, just like that. So I'll show that again. So from the claw ride position, I'm reaching underneath. I'm prying Cruz open, exposing this side, so that's nice and easy to step in. Right, his knee might be nice and tight in there. I need it open a bit, just enough space so I can step in, bring my hips through. Now this side is nice and easy to open up. Now I'm flat with hips, Cruz's back here. I'm gonna hook on Cruz's upper chest here. I can even kind of push on his wrist here. I like to just keep it more controlled, so I keep that gut wrench grip, high gut wrench, hips down, hips down. If I have enough pressure in my hips, I don't need to push his arms forward. I'm bringing my hips down. I pick a side, keeping my hooks tight here. And I can pry Cruz using my hips to bring them up just like this. Take my two and bring them back and keep getting points just like that.
Use the claw ride to elongate your opponent and open up the hip on the far side. Once you see this opening, hook your foot in to take your first leg ride, and then immediately take your second hook in on the other side. Reach around the chest and drop your hips down completely until they go flat, and then roll to your side.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna kind of finish off this series with a power half from that, starting with the claw ride to open up that leg ride side, then we'll take the power half from there. So it's gonna be kind of a three-step move here. So we'll start with the claw ride first. I'm reaching underneath Cruz's chest and then around to his trap here, taking it nice and tight. I'm gonna pry on the thigh. Remember, I wanna run him forward, but he's gonna kind of resist. He can resist, but he's still not gonna stop me. I'll show you from this side. He's still not gonna stop me from opening the side. As much as he wants to not go flat, I'm still gonna open the side up, and that's when I take that leg right side. But this time, I don't need two hooks in, right? I can do this all from one hook. I could do it from two hooks, but for the purpose of this drill, let's just say he's really tight on this side, I can't get that hook in. What I can do, though, is I can start working that power half, though. So I'm gonna forearm into Cruz's head here, pushing him down, and I'm gonna reach underneath this armpit right here and grab my own wrist. And I'm gonna start applying pressure with that forearm down here, all the way down, and I can punch this arm through, right? So forearm down, applying pressure all the way till Cruz goes down to the ground. I can punch this right arm through, and I start bringing Cruz all the way flat, And then I start lining my hips up with chest here, and I can bring that arm back and start going for the pin here. So I'll show that again. So I reach underneath here, grab that trap, pry that thigh open, take that hook in. I'm gonna take that forearm into the back of the neck here, and then I'm gonna pry up underneath the armpit and grab my own wrist, just like this, force them down. As I force them down, I can punch this right arm through, and I start kind of circling my hips, going flat with Cruz, until I land on top, and I can reach this arm around the head and start lifting Cruz up just like this, right? So he's not able to use that, not able to bridge. I can kind of force him down just like this and make sure that his shoulder blades touch flat with the mat, and I can go through my pin from here. So last time, show it quicker here. I reach underneath, grab the trap, pry open, step, force Cruz's head down, reach underneath, power half down, punch that arm through, circling my hips, reach around the head, and then pry up just like that.
Use the claw ride to take a single leg ride. On the leg ride side, post your forearm into the back of your opponent's head. Use your opposite arm to reach underneath their armpit and cup your wrist. Punch that hand through to the ground and circle towards the head. Reach around the chin and pull up.
Thank you very much for watching. This is Coach Cruz Velasquez
And Cody Osborn.